Alright guys, alright. Video 3, I'm back. Officially, I think after video 3 you can officially say you're back. Alright, so we have some very, very bad news. So a little backstory. Around Christmas time, I like to watch Christmas movies. One of the movies I like to watch is Nightmare Before Christmas. Guess you weren't expecting that. Also, Die Hard or Die Hard 2. Anything after Die Hard 2 doesn't really count. So I've always liked the actor Bruce Willis as an actor. I don't know what he's like as a person. I don't know him from a bar of soap. But as an actor, I like his action movies and I think he does a really, really good job. So we have some bad news because Bruce Willis is stepping down from acting because he has been diagnosed, and I won't try and pronounce this right, he has been diagnosed with aphasia. Might be mispronouncing, but it's close. So it's impacting his cognitive abilities. As a result of this much consideration, Bruce is stepping away from the career as he's meant so much from him. So it's a loss. It's a huge loss for the acting world because he is one of the last action heroes. Not that last action hero, but one of them. And obviously this is breaking news, and it's really kind of sad actually, because celebrity and friends are rallying behind Bruce Willis after his announcement. Like I said, I loved him in Die Hard. I loved him in Die Hard 2. I loved him in, he was also really good in The Expendables. He's done a lot of action flicks. So yeah, it's really, really sad to see. Now, obviously, what is aphasia? I might be mispronouncing. And what is it? Because around apparently 140,000 Australians have it. It's weird, we never heard about this much over the past few years. Just seems like it's a thing that's just popped out of nowhere, right? Actor Bruce Willis, famous for his roles in Die Hard and The Sixth Sense, I loved him in The Sixth Sense by the way, has announced that he's retiring from acting, but diagnosed. So what is it? Aphasia is the language disorder after a brain injury. While strokes are the major cause of aphasia, it can also be brought on by a tumor or head injury or by degenerative brain disease known as primary progressive aphasia. So, there are different types. Is aphasia preventable? Only way to stop aphasia is to prevent is the medical condition that causes it. Diabetes, high blood pressure, smoking, all common factors that can lead to a stroke. And obviously this is piggybacking onto the video that we put up yesterday, where apparently Australians are suffering from a high amount of strokes lately, heart attacks and heart conditions. It's really weird. Like I said, it's weird how all these diseases, these diseases that seem to be linked to the heart, just seem to be popping up all of a sudden, right? Now, of course, the media has gone through and tried to nip the conversation in the butt, because aphasia 7 days after second dose of something or other. The rare neurological side effects from the vaccine are increasingly reported. Even if the first dose goes uncomplicated, the second dose may be complicated by several adverse reactions in the following cases. So, case report, a 52-year-old male developed sudden onset reading difficulty and aphasia 7 days after the second dose of a mRNA-based vax. He had a previous history of myocardial infarction. Interesting. I wonder if he got that from the first dose. Arterial hypertension and blood pressure was always slightly elevated on admission. Blood tests, blah, 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 blah. Second dose, as a conclusion. Second dose of the, the poke, may follow by ICB through the whatever that word is, of the ICB remains unexplained, and a causal relation between ICB and the vac cannot be excluded. Risk factors for ICP should be carefully monitored in patients undergoing the poke. So, seems like they're saying it's possible. It is actually a possible side effect, although rare, it is a side effect. So, post-poke vaccinate association, neurological complaints or complications, neurological sequence after the poke are rare. We investigate the possibility behind the development of the complication with a short period after Saudi residents received the poke. This must be like from the Saudi Arabia or something like that. Conclusion, neurological complications after the poke are very rare and only a few cases have been reported worldwide. Now, there's a big difference between this didn't cause it and this is extremely rare but does happen. Right? Am I saying everybody is going to get this? No. No, not at all. Do I think that there is a chance, a slight chance of you developing this? Yes. Do I think there's a slight chance of you developing this even if you just get COVID? Yes. I had a bit of brain fog after I had COVID, Delta. My mind was a little bit foggy. It seems to have gone back to normal now. I seem to be fine. Still can't pronounce some words, but point. But at the end of the day, my brain is generally pretty good, but it's still not as bad. It's still not as good as it was, but I can still. It seems to be getting better and better and better. Obviously, I take a multivitamin twice a day. There's zinc and stuff like that in there. There's vitamins. There's minerals that might be helping with the brain fog. I notice that if I'm tired, like I am now, it gets a little worse. But that's just general human behaviour. What causes the case of sudden aphasia? Clues come from a kidney injury, which is interesting because that's what actually my kidneys were sore when I had the Delta or the last one, the Omicron. Or drug dosing errors. Yeah. What is aphasia? Was diagnosed after communications, so it basically affects your speech. It affects your language ability. And here we go. Here, did Bruce Willis get aphasia from the poke? So, did Bruce Willis get aphasia 7 days after receiving the poke? Interesting how they've narrowed it down to after 7 days. That they have to go hyper-focused on a certain point because that way they can debunk it, right? It's a case of everybody at the moment is talking about Bruce Willis getting the poke and then getting aphasia. And the media's response is, no, Bruce Willis did not get aphasia after getting the poke after so many days. It's like, okay, but it's great you're talking about the so many days part, but can we just go back to what we're talking about, which is Bruce Willis getting aphasia most likely or probably or sometimes linked to the poke? Can we talk about that? Instead of just hyper-focusing on the certain aspects of it. But I suppose it's easier to debunk it, like I say. So, almost immediately after the news broke that Bruce Willis was retiring after aphasia diagnosis, people started claiming he got it from the poke. Here's a few examples. So, Bruce Willis retirement. Aphasia 7 days after the second dose of poke. So Bruce Willis is stepping away acting because of aphasia. FYI, aphasia is one of the side effects of the poke. Fully poked actor Bruce Willis is retiring due to the poke. So they're claiming. This is the tweets I'm reading, right? Truth. Bruce Willis did not get aphasia from the poke. It's becoming a traditional of the anti-poke activists to immediately blame a celebrity's death or malady on the COVID poke. Yet again, these anti-pokes are wrong, and here's the reason why. Fact 1. No evidence Bruce Willis' aphasia was caused by the poke. Okay, here's the problem. No evidence doesn't mean it didn't happen. No evidence just means you haven't been able to find any. And guess what? If you're not looking, you're not going to find it. There is no evidence I got up this morning. According to the world out there, right? According to the world out there, there's no evidence I got up this morning. Guess what? I got up this morning. Why is there no evidence that I got up this morning? Because I haven't left the house all day. I've been sitting in the house programming a computer game and sleeping and watching Voyager on TV. I've had a very lazy day. It's great. But guess what? There's no evidence of me getting up as far as the outside world is concerned. As far as I'm concerned, the outside world, they might think I'm dead. There's no evidence I'm alive. Because guess what? No one has gone and checked. That's the problem with this fact 1 for a start, right? So let's move to fact 2. COVID poke do not cause aphasia. Really? Because it's in the listed of things you need to look out for. And you literally admit that here, by the way. Aphasia caused by damage or part of the brain handles speech and language. There are many causes of aphasia, but most common cause is stroke. Okay, yes, the most cause is stroke. Presuming he hasn't had a minor stroke or whatever it may be because of inflammation and heart inflammation or whatever it may be from the poke, it's still listed as a possible side effect that doctors need to look out for. I believe it's on page 29 of the poke. If they put it in there, guess what? It might happen. So how do you sit there and say it doesn't happen when it's literally in the material regarding the poke? You're so full of it. That's what annoys me the most. If people want to get the poke, get the poke. I don't care. But I want people to make an informed decision. Because guess what? If someone has a stroke or a heart attack or whatever because of the poke, I want someone to be there to monitor them so that you can keep an eye on them in case they are having this. The worst thing is someone getting the poke, going home alone, living alone, and possibly having a stroke or a heart attack and not having anyone there to help them. But guess what? If they had have known that was a possible side effect, maybe they might have gone home and they might have had a friend come over and stay with them for a few days. They might have gone and stayed with their mum or dad for a few days or a friend for a few days. They would have made arrangements for someone to keep an eye on them. It's a possibility, and that's the thing that annoys me the most. No evidence Will got his second dose recently. The claim that he received his second dose just 7 days before the aphasia diagnosis does not appear to be backed up by evidence. Bruce Willis has not revealed his poke status. He is extremely prolific, participating in 15 films since 2001. As acting as these movies require him to be fully poked, he was likely fully poked since early 2001. Okay, but did he get his booster shot recently? This is stuff that we want to know. What was his first, second dose, and when was the booster shot? Fact 4, Pfizer. This is the thing. This is the thing that bugs me, right? Pfizer AESI lists are not side effects. Many vaxxers point out that aphasia is listed in the 9-page AESI list that claims as evidence of the side effects by the poke. The truth is, the list of adverse events of special interest is actually a generic list of adverse events that Pfizer look for when poking people, send in their reports through VARS and the yellow card system. So you've literally admitted It's on the AESI list. But up here, you say that it's not caused, that aphasia is not caused by the poke. Aphasia is not caused by the poke. By the way, it's on the list of adverse events of special interest. What the frig? You're kidding, right? No evidence of it happening. By the way, doctors are supposed to look out for it in case it happens. But it's not caused by it. So why are they looking out for it? mRNA pokes do not cause aphasia after 7 days. Okay, but do they cause it at all? Why are you so hell-bent on the 7-day thing? Millions of people develop aphasia every year. Out of billions, apparently millions cause it. Yeah, but okay. But how old is Bruce Willis? What's the chances of someone his age getting aphasia? Age of Bruce Willis. He is age 67, right? Not young, not old. Seems to be in pretty good shape. Right? Younger than my dad. Dad's still fit and healthy. My mum's still fit and healthy. Globally, millions of people suffer from aphasia, with strokes alone responsible for 5 million new cases every year. Okay, but did he have a stroke? No? Right, okay, then if he didn't have a stroke, why do you keep talking about a stroke? We don't know what happened. We don't have information. Because guess what? They won't tell us anything. Will's cognitive issues started before the poke, according to them. According to directors, producers and actors who work with him, Bruce Willis has come out to say they have noticed his cognitive issues since at least June 2020. Long before COVID pokes were approved. But not the virus itself, though, right? This is the thing that people don't get. I'm not saying that if you got COVID, that you're not going to get this situation. I think a lot of the side effects that we are seeing right now from the poke is the same side effects you get from the virus itself. It is more likely or possible, or even slightly possible, that Bruce Willis has got this aphasia because he got COVID. It doesn't make it any better. Guess what? It's still cooked up in a lab. They still blame China for it. But if someone's already gone through and had COVID, I have to abbreviate it because, YouTube. Had COVID and then get the poke, yeah, there's a chance that they might develop aphasia from the poke. But guess what? They've still got the natural immunity from the COVID. So why are you poking them? That's my argument. I could have swore I had Omicron probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago now. About 5. When I stopped making videos, right? The reason I stopped the first week was because I'm pretty sure I had Omicron. I drink half a litre to a litre of Coke a day. I know it's bad, don't preach. But at the end of the day, when I had Omicron, there were 2 days where I couldn't stand the taste of Coke. I literally spat it out. While I'm making this video, I have a glass of Coke in my hand, drinking it. I drink the stuff by the gallons. For me to want to spit out the stuff that I normally drink by the litre, there's obviously something wrong. guess what one of the side effects of Cove is? Taste. Loss of taste and smell. Apparently it screws up your taste and smell buds. That's what makes me think I had it. I had a cough, I had the runny nose, and I couldn't taste or smell anything for a few days. But I tell you what, if that was Omicron, I want my money back because it really wasn't that bad. I had to blow my nose a few times a day and that was it. Mind you, I did have a week off work though, so it was great. So at the end of the day, yeah, the fact checkers are at it again. Look, do I think he got it from the poke? I don't know. I really don't know. But at the end of the day, I think it's impressive that they're already trying to nip that argument in the butt. It is possible he caught it from the poke. It's possible he caught it from the virus himself. I'm pretty sure he had the virus went back in 2020. It's possible he caught it back from then. It's possible he's had it just because of old age. I don't think Bruce Willis had a stroke, unless it was poke related, because he seems like he's a pretty fit and healthy guy. Even at 67, he looks like he's pretty damn fit. He's still making 15 movies a year or whatever they say. I don't think he's a slacker. I don't think he's sitting around eating Doritos getting fat. So I don't think he had a stroke. Not unless it was from the poke. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Obviously, as for Bruce Willis, this is a huge tragedy. I really did like his movies. But at the end of the day, obviously, I fully understand why he's stepping down from acting. It's just really, really sad. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Do you think it was it's because of the poke? Do you think it's because of the Cove? Or do you think it's just old age? Or whatever it may be? Why do you think Bruce Willis has aphasia? Let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section and we'll have a discussion about it. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.